Welcome to our next part of video series relating to the fraud. In this video, we'll talk about the fraud which are committed through chat messengers like WhatsApp and Facebook. We'll talk about how frauds are perpetuated through these chat messenger, why it is difficult to catch the culprit, and what ways you can protect yourself from such kind of fraud. Let's start with this audio clip. If you don't understand Hindi, then that's okay. We'll explain about this in a bit.
व्हाट्सएप कॉल सेंटर यूएसए देवराज मल्होत्रा स्पीकिंग। नमस्कार। आपको बताया जा रहा है कि आप ये जो व्हाट्सएप नंबर यूज़ कर रहे हैं इसका बम्पर प्राइस $50,000 आप इस नंबर पर जीत चुके हैं। आपको और आपके परिवार वालों को बहुत बहुत कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस। ये 5 देशों का ड्रॉ किया गया है जिसमें इंडिया, नेपाल, दुबई, भूटान और यूएसए, हर देश से 50-50 सिम नंबर लिया गया है जिसमें आपका ये नंबर व्हाट्सएप द्वारा सेलेक्ट हो चुका है $50,000 के लिए। आपका ये प्राइज़ व्हाट्सएप कंपनी द्वारा स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया में भेजा गया है। वहां के बैंक मैनेजर हैं धर्मेंद्र प्रताप सिंह। आपको उनका कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर दिया जाएगा और आपका प्राइस नंबर दिया जाएगा। आप नोट कीजिए, आपका प्राइस नंबर है 00526 और अभी आपको धर्मेंद्र सिंह जो स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के बैंक मैनेजर हैं उनका व्हाट्सएप नंबर दिया जा रहा है। आप नोट कीजिए 00918948114787। ये उनका व्हाट्सएप नंबर है।
So in this audio clip, fraudster is saying that WhatsApp had conducted lottery in 5 different countries like Nepal, India, Dubai, Bhutan and USA, and the victim number was selected on random basis. She has won $50,000 lottery. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it is. Whenever you receive such kind of audio messages, you need to make verification. This is the best way to protect yourself from such kind of fraud. The simple Google search about this kind of lottery does not show any promising result. As you can see, all the results are related to some kind of fraud and scam. Now your spider sense should be tingling. Am I going to be next victim here? The most sane thing is always check official site of this kind of organization. For example, let's go to the official site of WhatsApp. If we search for a lottery, there is no result. If they have run such kind of campaign, trust this message they would have. Now let's look into the behind the scene of this fraud to know how these frauds are committed. Usually, fraudsters are looking for 2 things to obtain from any victim. Money, that is the main motive of such criminal. They will say that if victim wants to get lottery amount, they have to first pay some money as a registration charges or a tax. And if victim falls for it and gives his money, rest assured he will not see any penny of the lottery amount, but he might lose more because he keeps up following that fraudster for the lottery money, and that fraudster will say, look, there is some kind of problem with authorities or banks. So if victim wants to obtain that lottery amount, he needs to send some more money. Victim actually sends that money. From his or her perspective, she has already paid huge amount. Now if they don't pay, they will never get to see that lottery amount. In that hope, they lose more. Next thing that criminals are looking to obtain from these victims are their identification details and banking credential. For identification details, they will ask citizenship ID or password with the reason that victim needs to provide his or her proof of identity. Another thing they are really after is victims online banking username and password. They will ask this credential on the pretext that it will be easy for them to transfer money into the victim accounts. We will discuss later how these things are used against victim. Okay, let's find out why it is difficult to catch those criminals. The answer lies in how the fund, that is illegally obtained money, moves inside the economy. The amount is deposited in some bank account, and from there it is moved to another account in different bank. Are these bank accounts are in the name of criminals? No. They are the account of these victims who were deceived to provide their banking details. Now the money moves to some kind of digital wallet. Please understand, we are giving an example in the context of Nepal. For much mature financial market, the payment parties may be different, but the overall concept is same. Regarding digital wallet, we have a very interesting provision laid down by our regulatory bodies. Up to the transaction of rupees 5000, no KYC, that is know your customer information, should be obtained from any customer by any kind of digital wallet. But say if customer wants to do any transaction above rupees 5000, then KYC should be obtained mandatorily. And the KYC consists of citizenship ID, photo and mobile number. Culprits have already obtained these details from victim when you guessed it right. With that document, fake digital wallet can be easily created. Then they transfer the money from these wallets into different other bank accounts. The way they transfer fund is by breaking total amount into small deposit, that is also known as structuring. Then after they bring back these funds into another fake digital wallets. From there they will withdraw these ill-gotten proceeds. Now you may be wondering, why would a criminal go to such a length just to withdraw that money? See, this process is known as layering. Layering is the second stage of money laundering, where criminals will keep on moving funds from one bank account to another so that long paper trail of transaction will be created. This will effectively deter in tracking those ill-gotten funds. As for example, you can see by yourself how is the fund moved into different accounts, then into digital wallet, then back to another bank account, with sole aim that when there is any investigation, law enforcement may bite the dust while tracing that fund. Unfortunately, layering can be made more complex, like wire transferring that amount to another country and bringing it back, exchanging that money into another currency and depositing that exchanged amount, or placing that amount as a fixed deposit and taking loan against that fixed deposit receipt. All these types of fraud have a common name, which is also known as vishing. Vishing is used to denote a fraud committed through telephone, telex, fax, but nowadays it also includes cyber fraud done through these chat messengers. There is another variant of WhatsApp fraud where criminal will ask you to download some kind of app through WhatsApp. It may be security patch for WhatsApp or free games, PDF and so on. You may not know that this app will contain some kind of malware which will be installed with that app. This malware will secretly send your confidential information like Facebook, Gmail or your online banking credentials to malicious hacker. Phishing attack is a category of social engineering attack. Social engineering attack refers to the techniques employed by any attacker to manipulate people's brain to obtain some kind of financial gain or information. One of such social engineering tactics is pretexting. In pretexting, attacker creates an artificial scenario which is then believed by a victim, resulting into the loss of money or sensitive information to the attacker by the victim. One of the example of pretexting is a scam being done through Facebook Messenger. This type of scam was able to grab news headlines in Nepal. In this scam, fraudster creates fake Facebook profile of top management personnel of any company, and using that profile he asks money from junior staff working in that company. Since people are habituated to respect authority, as put by Robert Cialdini in his book Master of Influence and Persuasion, these junior staff don't have courage to ask the reason for asking money to these top level managers, and they send that money and get cheated out of it. Now let's talk about modus operandi of this kind of scam. First, attacker does research about all the employees of target organization through Google search, from their official website, or from LinkedIn. He will identify who are in the top management position, who are in a junior staff position. As for example, we'll use LinkedIn for our reconnaissance purpose. In LinkedIn, we just made search of all staffs in Janata Bank of Bangladesh. We found out that this person is working at DGM level, which is a top level position of that bank. Similarly, we can search for other staffs in this LinkedIn page who can be a suitable target. So this guy is working as an intern, which is the lowest position in any organization. If attacker makes a fake profile of that DGM and through that profile ask money or any kind of sensitive information from this guy, then he will definitely provide all those asked things without any questions. Next step is to create a fake Facebook profile of that top management person, which is like an eating a pie. All you need is a photo and a Gmail ID. You can create any Gmail ID in a fly. For photo, just go to that person original Facebook page and download any photo you like. It is so easy that anybody can create a fake Facebook profile of any person they wish, even Biden or Donald Trump for that matter. In the final stage, that criminal will ask money from that junior staff. You need to understand this. Criminals are very cunning. They will only ask for the reasonable amount of money that could be easily made available by that junior staff. Maybe 5,000 Nepalese rupees for starter. They will not ask for huge amount of money because that junior staff will be suspicious. He or she can inquire that senior management staff about the borrowing. So in this scam, amount involved are usually less, but in any case it is loss to the victim. Now we'll talk about different safeguards from this scam. The most effective one is to make call back. Call that person to make sure is he or she is really in need of that money. After all, you are giving your hard-earned money. It is your right to know for what purpose you are giving that money for. You don't need to be afraid, as lender is always at the upper hand than borrower. While we are in this subject matter, we would like to share you one interesting story. You all know about recent celebrity death hoax. In social media, there is a fake post of death of some well-known celebrity which is later found to be untrue. So one celebrity was giving interview in some talk show. He said that his death hoax was widely circulated in social media. He saw many people posting rest in peace, heartfelt condolence, but to his amaze, nobody bothered to call him to check if he is really alive or not. On that day, he received only one call, which was of his agent. He said, "So you are alive," and then hung up. Agent was just making sure that his employer is still alive and kicking so that his due amounts will not remain unpaid. Another important thing that you need to closely watch is the chat message itself. If any stranger send you message who is not in your friend list, then in the chat message at top you will see this message: you are not friends with this person. So if your boss is in your friend list, then you can easily identify that this Facebook profile is a fake. But let's say your boss is not on your friend list and one day he suddenly decides to ask money from you. You should be now really suspicious of that. Just give him a phone call. Don't message through that Facebook Messenger because it is a fake profile. If possible, ask him in a person. Trust us, you will both have a funny story to share with your friends. Who knows, this boss can be a good ally in advancing your career. That's it folks. We conclude this video for now. But in next video series, we'll talk about the concept of shares and dangers to investors while investing in bearish market. We hope that you have found this video informational. If you think that it might be useful to your friends, family, colleagues, please do share and like this video. We also request you to subscribe this channel so that you don't miss any updates. Further, your small support will go a long way to help us grow. So please do subscribe. Finally, if you have any suggestion, experience to share, please mention them in the comment section below of this video. Thank you for your time. Stay safe and healthy.